Okay. Good afternoon, Shaggy SoCal 12 for Forza, and this is going to be, I guess, the last set of track guides for our final two races in this number 73 Honda Civic touring car for this our inaugural season of Thursday Night Thunder in the new Forza Motorsport. Overall, I would say, in my opinion, a month in with the new Forza Motorsport, and it's probably going to echo a lot of what you'll find from the Forza pundits online that play and talk about the Forza games. I think once you can get into a race and you get the race going, and the racing is actually, at least for me, I'm enjoying it. The racing part of it is enjoyable. Physics good, you know, I'm doing mostly private lobbies, so I'm used to the guys I'm racing with, have some great racing. It's everything else that's a bit annoying, especially a multiplayer lobby, you know, out of the gate has just been, I think we spend more time. That's where I'm feeling the most frustration, because I feel like, especially this last Thursday, I think Matt had to restart the lobby like 4 times just to get two races run. So I'm hoping, knock on wood, I think there's a new update coming out. I think it's on the 14th. So that'll be Wednesday. So hopefully Turn 10's next update will address the lobby stability issues, because that's, yeah, I don't want to get on a rant on that one. I don't think there's enough people that have ranted about the lobby issues. But that's not why I'm doing the stream. So it is track guide time for these final 2 races. First up is going to be Road America in the Civic here. So I'm doing this completely cold. I haven't done any laps with this car there yet. So let's go ahead and set this up. And I'm going to cross fingers and hopefully not run into the issues I've run into before. So let's go race. So it's going to go free play. And I'm going to do advanced event setup. Since there's no practice within the event, I have to do this as a test drive. So pick the Civic. Time multi-class test drive. No random tracks here. We know where we're going. Come on. Road America. Target track layout. Full circuit. We'll do the ideal scenario at noon. Time progression rolling. Weather clear. For the track guide portion, it should be clear. We'll leave the rubbering on. I don't know what Matt sets for that. I'll just leave it at the default. The car, that's fine. For the rules, no, we're going to go expert rules. I want, you know, if I'm gonna make mistakes, I want to get punished for it. Race start standing. That's fine. I don't have to worry about any of that. Okay. So let's go ahead and hit accept all. Save these options. Okay. So typical track guide. I'm going to go run a couple of laps, flying laps, kind of get myself situated. Hopefully remember kind of relative what time I'm running. And then I'll probably do a slower lap, just kind of more of a turn-by-turn track guide. Again, the philosophy is...
At the end of the front straight.
Oh, it went black for a second. I'm like, whoa, what just happened?
So use the access road to the left as a landmark to know you're about to go heavy on your brakes.
Yes, thank you very much. See, Turn 10, you're trying to put me out of a job here. Stop it. Let me be the one that sounds intelligent, like I know what I'm talking about. So I'll do kind of a slow turn by turn, you know, around the track. Things I'm looking for. Again, you know, it's one of those, you can chase rivals and watch the line they're looking at, but yeah, hopefully I'm trying to fill in a little of the gap of maybe what, at least for me, what I'm looking for in addition to watching the braking line and so on and so forth. And at that point, I'll get in, I need to practice with some traffic out there just so I can figure out, well, what places can I get away with? You know, can I make passes? Where should I set up passes? Where are the danger zones? Or where, yeah, probably not a good idea to try and stuff a pass in here unless it's like the last lap. So I think I've done enough talking. Oh, actually, before I get too much into this here, just because I'm still trying to get the audio sorted. I'm not sure if this is a Forza issue with the audio, a Twitch issue, a chat issue. So I'm actually going to back the game volume down just a smidgen more to see if, because I notice that sometimes when I get into the race and car engine's going and everything's going there, that it's sometimes hard to hear me. Of course, I sometimes mumble as well. That doesn't help. Let's go ahead and close that. Let's go ahead and hit save. All right, let's go ahead and start race. Now the tune I'm using, I am not. I'm probably not going to try and make a specific tune for Road America. I'm just going to use the same tune that I've been using. Oh, see, there's the other thing I keep forgetting. New game, who dis? Let's go. Exit to event menu. I forgot to change tires. Let's go ahead and sim a quali lap. All right, car, fuel and tire. All right, so in this practice test drive, fuel doesn't matter. Or does it? Can I? Oh yeah, I can lower it down. It will tell me. Okay, fuel 11 laps. I want to put about 5 laps in. Enough for 5 laps. So it'll be 1 up on first 6. There we go. Now let's go ahead and race. So we'll do a lap or 2 just to kind of sort out where I'm braking like that. But again, as I'm using, I've been using the Kailami tune that Matt shared at the beginning of the season. I've not, you know, it might hurt me here. This car probably has a little more downforce than it needs. But again, I've done what, 6 races with this car, so I'm kind of familiar with what to expect from it. So I'd rather do that than maybe to introduce a new setup that will have its own issues, or idiosyncrasies. And also, I can't tune, and I'm lazy, so we'll just stick with what I got and make the most of it. All right, heading down to turn 5. We'll be up in 6th gear. Oh, okay, curbing. Curbing's going to be interesting, especially there. So don't do that. If you're here, limit line on the entry. I could use a little more curve there. Let's go flat. That's late. Charge into the carousel and see where the front starts to go. That's where it goes. Okay. As soon as I see the inside curving there, I want to get back to the gas. And all right, can we take the kink flat with this setup? Yep. Pretty easily as well. So I'm probably going to be neat and tidy on the exit curves, the entry and exit curves. We'll see how aggressive I can get to the apex curving. Gear. Probably a little slow there. There's all of that. So probably by going with now setup wise, you can experiment with a low downforce setup to maximize your straight line for this straight and the straight heading down to turn 5. What you'll be giving up is the back half, of course, is fit. Handling is a little bit more important. So it's fit. Actually, that should be a 4th gear turn. You can use a lot of that outside curving, but it's not the best, not the most stable. That's 3rd gear. And let's turn, head down. I always forget what I just came out of. That was turn 4. Or is this turn 4? This is turn 5 here at the bottom of the hill. Way out wide there. Oh, I love the new track limits. Thank you, Forza. Finally. That's up to speed. That was still considered clean. Wow. still braking too late there. This whole sector thing they've set up is can sometimes you start looking at that to be your braking point, and it's like, no, not necessarily. You might need to brake a little bit before that. Yeah, kink will be flat if you have enough downforce. This time, a little confidence lift. I don't know that I can take that flat or not. All right, I'm gonna do one more flyer, just because I'm still working on a couple gearing things, and then I'll try and do a slow lap and talk about what I've been doing if I can remember. So we'll do one more flyer here. Next gear, so turn one. Where am I braking? Right about whatever the second board there is. So sixth gear down to fourth. So it's down two, up to fifth. Now down to turn three, down to third gear. Use that inside curving, wind the wheel out, use a little bit of that exit curving, that should be fine. Just don't miss your shifts. Okay, so as you find out for turn five here, heavy braking, back end's gonna get really light, stay off the outside curving. The braking lines wants you to flirt with it, don't flirt with it. You can use that exit curving there. Quick brake, turn as you go into the bridge, still carrying too much speed there. You need to brake a little more, third gear. Up to fourth. Use a lot of that inside curving. I don't necessarily need to use all the outside there. Let's see if I get it right this time. A little bit better. I'll use a little more of the inside curving. Light pull just ease off the gas. And what I'm looking for is the second I can see the inside curving there, I was a little and held it in a little too inside. As soon as I see that exit curve, that inside curving in the carousel, that's where I want to try and get back to full throttle. Okay, you can use a lot of that inside curve at the kink. Canada corner. A lot of curving there. Again, it's the big thing to unlearn from Forza 7 is you can use a lot more curving now. See if I can do this flat. Almost. You can almost do it, well, at least I can almost do it flat. A little bit of a lip just up the front turn. That's late. Okay. 221.6. This will be a little bit quicker. Probably still at 221 now. 228. Okay. So roughly, I'll just kind of base laps of 2 minutes 20. All right. So we're going to slow it down a little bit. Heading down the front straight. So you'll be in sixth gear. Now again, my eyes, and it's going by so fast. It's really hard, at least in this light. It's hard to pick up the numbers on the boards. So it is. So I count. It's not the first board. It looks like I'm braking closer to the three board, somewhere between 4 and 3. If you go off the braking line, again, this is where I think in the multiplayer, if someone goes wide and knocks those boards down, my understanding is that by the next lap they should be back up. So I think we definitely saw that with the cones at VIR. I don't know if the same holds true for the braking boards. So I'm in sixth gear. I kind of go back to my old IndyCar Racing 2 gearing. Turn one is fourth for me. If I'm carrying on my own, if I'm carrying speed through, it is fourth gear. I'm not really using the entry curve here at all. I'm being neat and tight on the way in. So down to fourth gear, turning in. I'm gonna just see again in Forza 7. You can kind of tell. I'm gonna stop it here. You can kind of tell. We'll see how it gets in here. That this turn one is still. It's not a nice even curve. There's a little bit, it curves in a little bit and it flattens out a little bit and it curves a little bit more. And you can kind of just see it there, kind of where the apex cement patch there is on the inside. Um, so what I'm trying to do, as I'm trying to do everything else, is at least now it looks like I'm going to try and apex it towards the end of where that inside cement patch is. Um, I typically have not abused the inside curb at Road America. Usually if I can get parallel to it, and again, it's probably the track limits that was always kind of like how much can I use. Plus, I think on one of the, if I'm vaguely remembering, is the inside curbing here, depending on how much you're using, can buck the car depending on your setup, especially if you're running a low ride height. Yeah, I'm not sure if the curbing will damage the car or not, but you can find that out in your own testing. Um, get in there, get back on the gas, bring the car back out. You can use the outside curbing here. Again, you can use quite. Used to be that if you got this far off your past track limits, you're not going to get dinged until how far out there. So you have got, as far as exiting the track, you've got all of that curbing you can use up until the point. Let me get back on. Yeah. So you can be all the way out here as long as you've got two tires, your right sides. Yes, you're right. You're right. As long as you got your right side tires on this curbing, you can go all the way out here if you have to. Um, I just know that again because this outside curbing is notorious. You can even see one, the curbing is bumpy itself. It's going to upset the car. Two, you can see we've got the lip to then the pavement here to the left side that's technically off track. So you do want to be careful. I would say try to avoid using this regularly, but it's there if you need it. Um, if I use it at all, I might get my left sides on it, and I might again Forza 7 track limit learnings. I might only straddle it this much if I have to. Um, but the other thing too is, especially at the beginning of the race at turn one, if I'm going way wide, it's if I'm that far out, even if I'm straddling, I'm still technically in bounds. I'm treating it as if I'm out of bounds. I'm not going to just try and swerve the car back over, especially as there might be traffic in this part of the line that there's no place to go. So if you do get shoved way out, load the car up, merge it back in. Discretion's the better part of valor. Heading down the hill. So technically turn two is this little kink to the left before the braking for turn three. Again, the gearing I'm running, I'll be fourth gear out of turn one. I'll be up to fifth. I get down to the braking. It's probably about where the one board is. I'm not really, I think I'm relying a little too much on the braking line here to tell me where to brake. But this is another, from sixth gear down two for turn one, up one, but down two again for turn three. So that'll put me back down to third gear here. Turning in, I'm going to try and use as much of this inside curving as I can. Rolling back into the throttle, bringing the car out. You can use a little bit of that curving there. There's not as much wiggle room. If you're going to use the curving, try and keep it just to the curving. Don't get into the grass because then it'll upset the car. So heading down this straight. Now one of these, I'm not sure if it's just that slight left-hander, if it's the slight right-hander, or the slight left-hander that's technically turn four by their track map. But turn five is the heavy brake at the bottom of the hill. Again, I'm pretty much using the braking line to help me here. It's going to be, you've got the two board there if you can't see it. I think the braking line really goes red right before the curbing starts. And the braking line is going to essentially, if the idea of the braking line is that the ideal position of the car is to be centered on it, as far as what they're saying is the ideal line, with this car under heavy braking or turn five, that's going to put your right sides on the curbing. And again, you're going to get to the brakes, you're going to unweight the back of the car, again, front wheel drive car, all the weights at the front, no weight at the back. You're going to hit that curbing, it's going to upset the back of the car. So give yourself a little bit of room. I wouldn't use the outside curbing at all. Just flirt with it. Down to second gear, turn in, use as much as, if you do get it right, you can use as much of this inside curbing as you can. Get back on the throttle, out. I'll probably use a little bit of the exit curbing here, not too much, and not a lot, not a lot of steering as well. The other thing is, pay attention to how much steering you have at the time when you get on the curbing, because that also, the more steering you have, the car bucks. the weight shifts, the front might take off on you or the back might step out. So just, you know, curving's a little more treacherous here than some of the previous tracks we've been at. Heading up the hill, third gear, braking just before you get to the Corvette bridge, turning in as you're passing underneath it, because this is a little bit of a blind entry because you're crossing a hill in. I haven't hit it right once yet, but ideally third gear, drop it in, exit curving here, roll out. You can use a little bit of exit curving here. Again, be careful that, you know, just be mindful of the back of the car. Going up through the gears, third gear, fourth gear. This you can do flat out. Go ahead and use a lot of that inside curving. You can see there the car bucked because the right side tires got off the gray cement curbing and into the grass, and then kind of bucked over the striped curbing. So just be mindful of how much you're using and when your tires go off track. So coming down the hill here. So again, their little sector timing thing is putting it right about the 3 board. That is probably about where you're going to need to brake. Down to third gear, I think on your own. Second, maybe if you're in traffic. And this one, ideally, I'm always going to try and get as much of this inside curving as I can out. Try and only maybe just use the curving on the exit. Going into the carousel, I'm going to, a lot of times, and I think this is where I lose a lot of time, when I'm coming into the carousel, I tend, after I get under the bridge and the car settles in, I'll back out way back here. And I think, you know, maybe if you're on soft tires or low fuel, you could probably be a little more aggressive about charging into the carousel. It's one of the things I want to try and be more consistent on, especially if I'm running laps on my own or if I'm maybe trying the undercut, is charge into this as much as I can. And what I'm finding is it's the, I want to point to nowhere, but if you can look just underneath where it has my player name and it says best lap, you can see that you can see the Musco lighting there, rig. I'm going to say Musco lighting because that's who usually it is. It's the first one that you'll pass after you cross under the Speedville Bridge. So that first one that seems to be as I'm getting to that, that's probably going to be about the point where you're either going to need to just brush the brake slightly or ease off the throttle to get the car to settle in, because the carousel does tighten up. Now what I'm looking for on the exit is I'm going to start to bring the car down. I'm not gonna hug the inside line all the way through. I'm still trying to late apex it a bit. But what I'm looking for is the start of the striped curving. The second I see that, and right about now. So it's actually up by the, you know, where I can clearly see it. Now I can clearly see it, and I can see that it's up by the that first inside signboard. So I'm actually going to try and get back to full throttle here. And really turn the car in, get the car to the curbing, use as much of the curbing, you know, use that curbing, the exit, bring it out, maybe use a little bit of the exit curbing, and that's out of the kink. So that's what I'm trying to do there. Now heading into the kink, looks like, at least for the setup I'm running, I can do it flat. I wouldn't be surprised if even if you take all the downforce off the car, if you get the entry line right, you should be able to do it flat. If you find the car's pushing on entry, be careful snapping out of the throttle, because again, that'll upset, you know, again, most of the weight's on the front of the car. That might be enough as you're loading the car into the kink. If you make a dramatic lift out of the throttle, that the back end might step out. If it does, just jam your foot back down on the throttle and let the front wheel drive pull the car out of the slide. But I am going to cheat, and I'm going to, you know, as I especially get into the race on my own, into rhythm, I am going to cheat and put the left sides on the curbing, just to open up the kink just that little bit more. But it looks like even if you don't do that, you can pretty much do it flat. You can use a little bit of that inside curving. I would probably be careful on the outside curving. Just again with the weight, you don't want to do anything that's going to cause the back end to step out. So usually I keep the left side there, bring it out to the middle, bring it back. Braking is right about 5 board there. Maybe a little inside that, brake, 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 brake. I'm taking this one Canada corner. I'm doing that in third gear. I'm going to use a bit of that inside curving there. I'll probably, as I accelerate out, just a little bit of the outside curving there. Now this one, Usually I would judge the orange curbing as far as where am I braking turning in, but it looks like it looks like you really don't have to do, you can stay full throttle a lot longer than maybe in previous cars we've raced here in Forza 7. So I might be trying to look at the trees. Uh, oh, didn't get a lot of sleep last night. But you can see those two last trees there. I might start glancing my eyes up there just to kind of see where those trees are in relation to what the braking line's telling me, because that'll help me. It's probably going to be the last tree there. That's going to be the indication of, okay, it's just a slight lift to turn the car in, and then right back on the throttle. You don't really need to brake. You can't do it full throttle. It's somewhere in between. Just a slight lift on turn and help get the car turned in, and then right back on the throttle out. You can use quite a bit. I'll use quite a bit of the exit, crossing over the white line here, try and maintain momentum, bring the car back across, and then for the final turn, just as you pass, it's kind of like just as you pass under the sign there that I just forgot to tell you who the sponsor is. Who's the sponsor on that sign? It used to be, previous game caller had the rights to that sign. Who's got it this game? Rev, vehicles for life. For life? Yes, for life. For life. So as you're passing under that sign, as you get to the 3 board, or as you hit the first patch of pavement change coloring, you can see it's kind of done in 2 phases there. So brake, brake, brake. I'm going to set up, usually I'll probably set up a little wider than what the game suggests, but for me, if I do it right, it'll be a 3rd gear turn. And I'm trying to late apex this one as well. Might use a little bit of the inside curbing, let the car come out, use a bit of this one out here. Again, if you're going to use the exit curbing, just make sure you don't then drop tires in the grass. That'll actually upset the car a little bit more. And then you're out on the front stretch. The car probably might naturally drift a little bit towards the center as you come up the hill. Bring it back across, accelerate down, and that is the lap of Road America in this Honda. The nice thing is this is Road America pre-repaving. So obviously they didn't get their scan done before it was repaved. I'm kind of happy with that, because if their physics as far as the track is as accurate as possible, older track surfaces are more fun. They've got more character. So with that, I'm gonna stop with the slow lap, and let's go ahead and run a mock race, because it's one thing to run laps on your own. It's another thing to run it in traffic and learn, because I'm talking about the ideal line, what you want to do, but especially the first couple laps of any of our races, you're always going to be racing other people, and you're not always going to have the ideal line, so you got to figure out what the car is going to allow you to do. So let's do advanced event setup. All right, excuse me. So I'm starting over from scratch, because what I was running into, I think, in trying to switch within free play, that's where I ran into some issues with the steering not working. I don't know. There's all sorts of stuff going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a circuit race. Race length, we're going to go. All right, so long it's saying 6 laps. I'm going to bump it up by 2. Actually, hang on. This is the part where I pull up my handy dandy calculator. It was like a 2. We'll do 221 for me. And I'm actually going to use, all right, so let's say it's a 20, let's do a 30-minute race times 60. So that's 1,800 seconds. So if I take, so 221, that's 120, 141, divided by 141, 141, 66. Yep. 12 laps. Really? 12 laps? Wow, okay. That seems, for a 30-minute race, it seems long. We'll split the difference. I'll do 10. Lord knows how many laps is going to be in the actual race, because again, we don't know how well the lobby is going to, how stable the lobby will be. Starting time of day. I need to ask Matt how he sets the starting time, and I think he does leave the time progression at 4 times. Whether I'm going to do, let's see, choose the weather variable. This is where I need to do a little research of what the difference is between random and variable. Because variable tells me that whatever it is, it's going to change. Random just says whatever it starts it as is what it will be. So that's where I need to kind of that's where I need to play now. What I'll probably do is I'll do this one as random. I'll probably do the Suzuka guide as variable, and we'll see what the differences are. Drivatar difficulty, maximum difficulty, designs on, number of Drivatars. I want all the Drivatars. Cars, that's fine. I don't really need to make any changes there. Rules, expert rules, ghost backmarkers, no. Disqualification, no. Standing start, PI ordering, ascending grid order off. Oh, grid ordering. Oh, wait. Random. I'm still going to do random. I'm not sure where I'm going to start. At some point, I'll probably start setting it up where I'll always start at the back. But for right now, we'll do random. Mandatory pit stops, 1. Number of teams, no, don't need to worry about any of that. Still only 4 buckets. Okay, I think that's it. Fingers crossed. All right, so 10 laps at Road America. Ooh. Looks a little overcasty.
Halfway through a lap here at Road America, the carousel will be an excellent place to reel in cars ahead if you stick to the race line, keeping the car at the very edge of traction all the way around.
Well, that could be set for about any corner at Road America as far as maximizing your lap time and reeling cars in. But yes, I would agree with that. Which is why that's one of my weaknesses. I want to try and attack the carousel a little bit more than I have done in the past. All right, so for the event, 10 laps, thunderclouds. Oh joy, that could mean rain. Car class, that's fine. Forza touring cars. Okay, so now that I know 10 laps with thunderclouds, let's go fuel and tire. And we'll set it for 11 laps. So about just shy of 40%. 39% will do 10 laps of Road America. We're going to go soft. And okay. Let's start race. Let's hope I got steering. We've all had issues at turn 1 at some point. And I would say the thing to keep in mind in any of these races, especially since we're going to be starting in a group, is everybody in front of you is slower than you. So heading down turn 1, back off a little bit early, make sure you've got good handle on the car so you can hold the inside or hold the outside line and not, push. Same thing here. We're probably not going to start springing out until we're out of turn 3. Once you're out of turn 3, you got a good enough run, and maybe you can start thinking about, getting runs down the back straight. The thing is, pay attention to your proximity arrows. If you see anything in orange, someone might be floating around in your blind spot. Nice and easy on the out lap on this first lap. Cold tires as well. Still have someone to my inside, so I'm not going to turn in on them. I'm going to leave a little bit of room. Don't hit me. I'm leaving your room. You're going off. I'm going to slide over there. Yeah, so there's someone. I wasn't sure where that Renault was, so I'd rather just stay behind the link. Is it the link? 10 laps and they're long laps. I'm about halfway in between. Alright, so up in 5th. That's good. Didn't pay attention to where I started, but that's okay. Start turning a little bit early. That's a lot more curving than I wanted to use there. For this setup, it'll be interesting to see, you know, if any of you guys decide you're going to risk a low downforce setup to try to maximize the your straight line. The draft, that'll actually help you in the draft if you're behind somebody, because you'll have a little bit extra speed. You might be able to set up a slingshot, you know, to get alongside, heading the braking in turn 1 and turn 5. It's just a question of how much handling are you going to give up. I'm going to think about that one. Nope. Yeah, sorry. Gosh, missed the shift. It's that question of, you know, the low downforce and straight line definitely is a benefit for the two biggest straightaways. But once you get to turn 5, to the back half of this course, it'd be interesting to see how the handling difference then is for the guys that might be running higher downforce and more of a grip tube, because be able to carry more speed through this corner, might be able to carry more speed through pretty much through all the corners. There's a lot of corners back here. Turned in a little early. Again, can't talk and drive at the same time. Those tires a little bit. Okay, no engine damage. Oh, pushing wide. Probably brake a little bit later there. The other thing, just my own observation from the races, is like for the field of view I'm running. The front corners of my car are actually out past where my screen cuts off at. And I'm wondering if that's just part of our issue, is that, again, everybody's, you know, some of you guys are running cockpit views, dash view. I don't know that if anybody's running third person. But it's just be mindful of where the front corners of your car are, especially if you're looking at trying to make a move under braking. Because that's really, I think, where I've seen most of the offs has been that. It was just, they've underestimated where the corners of the car are. They get under braking, they get into the back of the guy in front of them, and then they both go off. Contact out of the corners a little bit safer, only because, in theory, you know, since you're both on the gas at that point, the weight's transferred back to the rear of the car, so it's a little more planted, take a little bit more contact. But certainly under braking for a corner, back into these cars are extremely light. That was not ideal. Okay, so third place, 3.5 seconds back. Don't really need to brake, just ease off, maybe give a little more gas. I don't know why you hit the brakes there, Bubba. That's not going to help you. Alright, not close enough to try it past there, so settle in behind. Don't lose control of the car. And at this point, I'm just going to... I might be able to take a shot in the final turn, but it's probably better if I just kind of stick with him. See if I can get a draft down the front straightaway, though. That could have been a little better exit for me. banging off the rev limiter doesn't help matters either. So, don't think I'll get him in one. Turn 3, we'll see. I don't think there's enough time for me to get a run to make a high percentage pass at 3. Unless he hits the brakes and leaves the door open. Thank you. Okay, he's on my outside, so I want to make sure I leave space. And the second I saw him in the rear view, then I knew I could take the full line out. See how good my memory is at the pit halfway to the one of the mediums. So much of that curving. I'm still turning in late there, at least later than I want to. Outside of I could have gotten back to the gas sooner there. Alright, so digger cycles. Yeah, definitely got a better run out of the kink. Oh, he's pitting. I don't know. And again, the AI, I have no idea. You know, I'm kind of running what our rules are for Thursday. Was I'm going to switch to the medium compound in the second half of the race. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much fuel he's running. I don't know how much, what compound he's on, and you know, they're under no obligation to run 2 different compounds either. My gut feeling is that the AI is always set to full fuel load. Fortunately, there's no way to know. Yeah, I'm still... My timing's off there. A little bit better. I'm not sure if... I still feel like I'm slow there. Now, one danger area as far as passing, I don't know that I've ever tried to pass somebody on the inside into the kink. And maybe if it's last lap and the car in front of me makes a mistake and I've got like a huge run, maybe. But the kink is risky. Rather try and get that run out of the kink instead of the Canada corner. You know, as far as Road America, passing areas are obvious. Obviously the two key ones here: turn 1, turn 5, Canada corner are the best places to try and set up passes. See, I was supposed to hit this lap. Can't talk and drive. you know, those are the most obvious places to pass. Turn 3 here at the bottom of the hill, if you've got a really good run and are alongside, I wouldn't try and dive bomb somebody here. Let's see, you know, hurry downs is a good spot. And the final turn, you know, if you get a decent enough run, then you might be able to stick it past there. Yeah, I can brake later there, but I think I'm relying too much on the braking line, so I got to work on that. Okay, way too much speed. That was hurry downs, I think. The sky is brightening. Box. And pit lane entry for Road America is very, very nice. Just forward up the hill, it should catch you right at the Chevy sign. Yep. Okay, so pit stops. Pizza stop. To run mediums. I don't have to worry about fuel. Pardon my sniffling. Let's see where pit exit puts us out. So again, for Thursday's races, when you exit, you got to stay to the left of the white line. To the left of the white line. No, to the right of the white line. Ignore what I said before. Left. The dotted white line needs to be on your left. You don't want to pop out there into traffic. So at least where it releases you is pretty good. So what I'm going to do here, just because I think I started a lot further up the field than you know, normally for these track guides I always start at the back because I want to try and simulate kind of what I will probably be experiencing, which is just starting at the back and having to work my way front. So I'm going to drop back a couple of spots because I do really need to practice working through traffic. It's you know, hot lapping is fine, but I need to practice passing. Racecraft, sometimes questionable. Carousel, and if you do charge in, the car is going to understeer a bit. Have a run out of the cake. Ease off the gas a little bit, just to keep a little bit of space. Turned in a little too early. That I can actually see the guy in front of me has pitted. draft works. He's pulling on. Yeah, I think it looks like he's pulling on me just a smidge, or just take a look, just to get my bearings. Let's see, the AI, you don't need to brake there, AI. Still needs a little bit of work there, turn 10. It's still check braking where it really doesn't need to. I don't know if that's, you know, if that's, again, if that's a leveling thing of, or even though I've got it set to 8, maybe these guys are like 7. I don't know. But it's kind of back to that. It's their braking because the line is telling them they need to brake versus braking because the car's unsettled. It's just my opinion. I can ease off. If I'm not going to brake, I just want to ease off the gas. But I just need to ease off a little sooner, and that'll help. Then set up the exit. There we go. Nice run down to Cannon Corner. Yep. You go ahead and take that side. I'll take this side. Excuse me. Don't have ghosting turned on. See if I can get that podium. And be careful of that outside curbing. Trying to sort turn 5 out. Right there. Let's just ease off. Is that my podium? There's my podium, just on pit.
Last lap. Let's go.
All right, let's see. I've only made up. I think I've only made up 7/10 on my nice man. he was really nice, he would slow down and let me by. But I'm pushing through one, so it's, you can use that outside curbing, but it seemed, at least for me, if you use the outside curbing, get the wheel as straight as you can. If you're still carrying a lot of, a bit of steering in there as it starts to go in the bumps, it seems to be when the car wants to step out. I'm turning way too early there. Catch the Talbot, or I am a nice man, but not too bad. Almost floored through there. Still just think it needs just a slight confidence lift just to help the front tires grip up. Oh, almost at 219. So that is Road America in the Honda. Again, since we're all running different tunes, we can all tune to our heart's content. I'm running Matt's Kyalami tune, so I'm probably giving up a little straight line in favor of kind of a more stable, platform in the back half of the course. We'll see which philosophy wins out on Thursday. So with that, I'm going to take a slight break for a bit, kind of wet my whistle, because we have a second track guy to do at Suzuka. So we're going to end with two very, very good tracks, and hopefully ones that are still familiar to us. So with that, I'm going to call it quits for now. Be back in a little bit. Have a good afternoon and happy racing.